I've just received word from Conservative campaign headquarters that 2 candidates caught up in this betting scandal have had their support removed by the Conservative Party. This means the party will no longer be campaigning for them, producing literature for them, knocking on doors for them. But of course, because nominations closed several weeks ago, their names will still appear on the ballot paper in their constituencies next to the Conservative Party brand. It's a similar situation to what happened in George Galloway's seat in that by-election where the Labour Party candidate had the support withdrawn and obviously there were electoral consequences there, but ultimately the names can't be taken off the ballot paper. I'll just read you the statement which I've been sent. As a result of ongoing internal inquiries, we have concluded that we can no longer support Craig Williams or Laura Saunders as parliamentary candidates at the forthcoming general election. We have checked with the Gambling Commission that this decision does not compromise the investigation that they are conducting, which is rightly independent and ongoing. Now, this is a shift from what the Conservatives were saying up until today. For the last week, they were saying, we can't touch this, we can't comment upon this, because that would compromise the independence of the investigation, which a lot of journalists were pointing out. It's hard to see how it would compromise the independence of that investigation. It seems now that CCHQ, the Conservative campaign headquarters, agrees.
Let's be clear, Craig Williams, who was the candidate in Montgomeryshire, admitted placing a bet of £100 at 5 to 1 on the date of the general election. He was the Prime Minister's parliamentary private secretary, which means effectively he was his bag carrier. With him at virtually every meeting, would be privy to all the big decisions, whether it's a foreign decision. So he knew he had privileged inside information, insider trading, bang to rights. He should have been suspended on the spot.
It does seem that this decision was inevitable and the pressure was growing. More and more candidates were simply baffled that it's took this long, that there wasn't hard and fast action against it. And in some ways, it sort of has this similar ring to what happened with Partygate. Yeah. After all, this is not Rishi Sunak placing bets. This isn't people in the cabinet. No. It's that sort of rung below. It's the people that are tangentially involved. Craig Williams, of course, this sort of bridge between Parliament and the Prime Minister.
But very lowly in terms of not even a minister.
Right, it's what's known as a PPS, an unpaid role. Yeah. But of course, an MP until dissolution as well. But it does seem that this is a decision that was inevitable, although baffling that it took this long to arrive.
And we were talking to James Cracknell just a few moments ago, who described what was happening. Well, he used the four-letter word, and he was outraged that the candidate, particularly Williams, was still there.
Yeah.
Without saying so specifically, he said if that had been part of an Olympic team, he'd been thrown out.
And it's all just so silly, because these MPs earn around £90,000 a year. 100 quid on a bet. I mean, really, is it worth throwing away a very high-paid job, respect, all the rest of it, for 100 quid of a flutter? It just is baffling, and I think that's what the reaction for most people when they hear this is.
No judgment, but the sense of entitlement that they could. And Michael Gove, didn't he say in that interview at the weekend, he said it has echoes of Partygate, because, we will do things differently to how the rest of the country behave. We can do it differently because we can.
And just how silly it all is. Yeah. That's the other parallel, I think.
So the thing, Tom, so just for people, these people will still stand as candidates?
Yes, they can't be removed because the ballot papers have been printed.
Technically, one of them could win.
That's right. So their election material is already printed. It says Conservative on it. That's not going to change now. They're just not getting what? Like, what's the difference for them in the run-up to with just over a week to go?
So candidates, of course, get national mail-outs from the central party. They have their campaigners who will knock on doors for them, deliver leaflets, deliver that,
work for
get
them.
out the vote organisation. They will be told not to by the Conservative Party. If anyone does campaign for either Craig Williams or Laura Saunders, then they will be doing that in a personal capacity.
Which they may choose to do.
Some of them might choose to do that. I doubt many of them will, and they will be sort of redeployed.
Well, there's a parallel in Islington North, of course, where Jeremy Corbyn is standing as a candidate, independent, and the chairman of the local Labour Party was caught campaigning for him, hiding behind a garden wall.
Yeah, and that's because there are strict rules. Yeah. If you campaign for a different political party, a different candidate against the Labour candidate, you'll be removed from the party.
Sometimes I just think politics is completely
hiding behind a garden wall.